Can you just tell us what you know about Brian Miller?
I'm not sure, but I would love to find out. Is he a poet?
No, sorry, I haven't got a clue who he is.
I don't actually know who Brian Miller is.
I have not heard of Brian Miller. Who is Brian Miller?
Brian Miller was the first ever Newtown artist in Scotland, obviously employed by the CDC in that role to develop an artscape throughout the Newtown.
Brian Miller, when he came to Cumbernauld, he came as a draftsman. That was the job that was advertised, and that was what he did for the first 2 years of being in Cumbernauld. He was attached to the engineers department, not the architects department, which he moved to later on. Because at his interview, he had been asked what it meant to be a Sunday painter, because he had put that on his CV, and he said, well, I paint paintings at home, and I do hang them on railings in Glasgow at the Botanic Gardens. That used to happen every September weekend. So he said, that's why I've got the name of being a Sunday painter. He said, it's not just that I only paint on a Sunday.
I think in the early days he helped develop the sort of environment within the town. He helped sort of design that sort of urban landscape.
He was looking for colour. The town centre car park, which sadly nobody can see anymore because they covered it all over, was one of the very first things that he did. And that was done by cutting out shapes out of bits of polystyrene. Concrete was poured between it and the shuttering. And that was one of the first things that he ever did.
It's actually started to disappear even when he still worked for the CDC. In later years, especially the late 80s and 90s, the senior management team at CDC seemed to start pulling away from the idea of public art.
Well, there's lots of it is no longer there, but he's not alone in that. I mean, there is a lot of artists, and especially public artists, their work has been demolished or lost. And it is sad in a way, but you've got to look to the future as well.
The Brian I knew didn't have much of an ego, so he wasn't somebody who probably would have wanted to have sort of the fame that maybe Alan Hanning had. I think, obviously knowing him in his last few years, he did want to make sure some of his stuff was protected, try and find out where a lot of the stuff that was taken down went to and that. So I think he would want to be remembered fondly with his eccentric character.
There is a funny little story about what a Newtown artist is. We had just come back from a holiday in France, and the phone rang. And Brian picked up the phone, and I heard him saying, okay, well, you start with grapes and treading them and so forth. Because what he heard on the other end of the line was somebody saying, how do you make wine? And the person said, no, I'm having an argument with my husband. We want to paint our front door a wine colour, but we want to know what two paints to mix. And Brian said only a Newtown artist would have his phone number that anybody could phone up and ask a question.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever.